Hi, Vieira with stockmarketlive.tv. Today I'm going to tell you the story behind Energous, the true story for those interested in investing in this company. In the past sessions, the share price rallied 250%. Today, the share price declined at almost 40%. There was a tweet from an American company, Citron Research, a negative one with a price target $15. So we are going to analyze here the story behind this American company. Firstly, for those that they are not familiar with the company, this is not the first time that the company itself is attacked by short sellers. In 2017, the company in fact was attacked by short sellers. Americans, obviously, not foreign companies. You have to refer to the fact that a few decades ago, during the Cold War, the main threat to the United States was, at that time, Russia. Well, today, the main threat to the United States, it is not Russia, certainly, or Europe, or Japan, or China. China might be a threat, economically, obviously, but the main threat today to the United States is North Korea, for obvious reasons, and secondly, Americans, exactly Americans, citizens. Their objective as terrorists, and Citron Research is an example, is not the benefit of the American society. It is precisely the opposite. So instead of informing the public or the investor with regards to what really matters, I remind you that Citron Research has never made one single call good of value in the markets. On the contrary, for example, this company, a couple of days before the buyout of Mobileye, was selling short, recommending to sell short Mobileye ahead of a buyout. This is just an example. There are plenty. There are a list of 100 companies or so. Citron Research has never made money. Like I said before, their objective is one and just one: to speculate, to create questions or doubts, and to change or to eventually have some influence in the sentiment towards a given company at some point. Having said this, what this company and Energous is often the subject of attack of short sellers. During the course of 2017, there was other company, American, also, Copperfield Research, if I'm not mistaken, there are several, that they said the game is over for Energous. The game is not over. If the game is over, it's for short sellers. Because if meanwhile you have been shorting or selling short this stock, the fact is that you were bankrupt. 250%, you are bankrupt. And you fully deserve, okay? So what Citron Research announced today is we have a price target $15, but if you analyze it, $15 is still a price 100% above the recent price. 100% above the recent price. So what does it mean? It means that Citron Research, as an American rat without any value whatsoever, is there to make a few dollars in the short term. As soon as the share price declines, they will be the first to cover their short positions. Otherwise, they incur in the risk of covering short positions in the future at $80, $100, $150. Why? Because, and I'm not here trying to pump or dump Energous. I'm here reporting to the facts. If you are bullish this company, the lower it goes, the better it is for you because it reduces significantly your risk and also automatically increases your potential profit in the future. If you are bearish in Energous, sell short the stock, but be aware that if for some reason the company is able to put out there in the markets viable products, you are going to have a tremendous problem, and your problem is very simple, is that you are going bankrupt overnight. So personally, I will not sell short this stock, okay? Secondly, as of today, this morning, ahead of the sell-off, the 40% decline, we did our job informing subscribers, those that they pay for the service, logged into the autonomous trading app with real-time trade alerts, you are going to sell your shares. Therefore, this decline that they saw today happening does not constitute a surprise whatsoever. Most of them, they could not profit from the short side because the brokers, they don't have shares to sell short. Well, having said this, like I said before, what really matters here is that if you are a potential investor in this company, for example, personally, I would, take the car. Within a few days, the company Energous is going to make a demo or a presentation. Why don't you visit the company or the presentation and you see by yourself, you evaluate or you make your own assessment of the value of the technology, whether it is real or not. At the same time, you can ask the engineers or the people from this company to show and where they are added to. But also important, or at least equally, if not even more important, is the fact that there is an entity, that is in the end what really matters, in the United States, independent, that approved the technology. And I'm not familiar with any other company in this particular sector which has seen their own technology approved for commercial purposes or objectives. So in Energous, there is value, they have some value. They know something, I would say. Like I said, I'm not here trying to predict the future, but I'm reporting to the facts. They know or they have something of value which eventually can be of great or immense value in the future. Obviously, they have to execute. They have to demonstrate. Nevertheless, the stock market is about the future, it's not about the present. So today in the markets, and this is not in fact about Energous, the markets, there is an immense wave of speculation. I'm not going to say that there has not been speculation in shares of Energous, obviously stock that within 48 hours zooms 250%, that is speculation. But if the company, and if I was the CEO of the company, that's what I will do in the next weeks or months, is to show to potential investors the value of the technology, precisely to prove that these American terrorists and scammers, as the case of Citron Research, again, they are likely there just for a couple of dollars, and eventually they can see $15 and they are very happy and they bail out. Because in the end, that's precisely what these terrorists, they do. It's like vampires. They don't have any interest whatsoever in the technology or in being an investors. For example, you look at Citron Research, in their history, since the very first day, and you have to ask, what kind of results do they have? Where do they have been investors in any American company for the long term? I know by far more, for example, non-US citizens like Chinese, Russians, Germans, French, Arab countries, with by far more confidence in the United States than Americans themselves. Americans, I'm referring to these Citron Research, these scams. Because they put there their own money, you have to, refer to the fact that a country like China is one of the biggest holders of debt, American debt. So they show confidence in your country, They are paying for it. They have been paying for it. Not Citron Research, certainly. So the biggest threat to the United States is countries like North Korea and Americans themselves, like these scammers and terrorists. What the FBI, and institutions should do is to put all these guys, all these companies, CEOs like Andrew Left and so on, in jail. The American society would have a great benefit, okay? Because, the opponent is not Russia. So you have to use your brain, okay? It is very important. So don't forget about this suggestion, which is if you are a potential investor or thinking about investing in Energous, which is a very interesting technology because in the end, if it works, it's something that it would revolutionize the industry completely. Maybe it is years, maybe it is too early, but you have to, evaluate for yourself. So visit the company, visit the presentation that they are going to do, and you make your own decision, at least informed about the company instead of relying on other parties, being it, Citron Research, which, by the way, recently said that other American company, Equity Research, it was a complete fraud. And, well, the complete fraud today, it is trading at new all-time highs, you understand? So, like I said before, I could go through a vast list of companies, and Citron Research has never made a good call, including the case that you see on the web, the case of Valiant, that many people believe that they saw something or they profited from. That is untrue, once again. All American scams that we know in step, detail by detail, the reality behind these companies. So this is the best suggestion that someone credible can give to you, is that if you want to make a well-informed decision, is to probably visit the company, to see the products, to make some research, and to make your own decision instead of relying on other parties, being it myself, or what Wall Street Journal says, or Mr. Donald Dumb Trump, or Andrew Left, the CEO of this American scam garage, Citron Research, okay? Don't forget that all these guys, they claim to know the future, but they are the first to bail out. They are there, they are like rats, and if the first sign of fire, they bail out, and you won't see them ever again. Okay? Thank you. Bye.